Last chance. Your miracle will happen in 10 minutes after seeing this secret. Gods. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if these words are on your screen right now, it is not luck, it is not coincidence, it is not an algorithm glitch. This is divine timing, this is spiritual alignment, this is God interrupting your day to whisper something your heart has been needing to hear for a long time. You are here for a reason, and your soul recognizes that already. Your chest feels a little heavier, the air around you feels different, something in your spirit is leaning closer because deep inside you know, this message is meant for you. God has been watching everything you've been going through, the silent battles, the quiet tears, the moments where your smile hit exhaustion, the nights you stayed awake with thoughts that weighed more than your body could handle. And right now, God is saying, my child, don't give up, because what's coming for you is bigger than what left you. Listen carefully, in the next moments after you receive this message, the energy around your life will begin to shift. Not because I said it, but because this message is aligning your heart with something heaven has already prepared. Your miracle is not a fantasy, it's a spiritual breakthrough that has been waiting for the right moment to unlock, and this moment, right here, right now, is the beginning of that unlocking. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. You have been waiting for a sign that your prayers have been heard, that your patience wasn't wasted, that your suffering wasn't ignored. This is that sign. God has been preparing something behind the scenes, something you couldn't see, something your intuition felt but your mind doubted. You've been seeing angel numbers lately, 1111, 222, 333, 555, and they weren't just cute coincidences. They were spiritual signals, divine breadcrumbs, reminders that heaven has been walking with you step by step. Those numbers appeared when your heart was unsure, when your spirit needed reassurance, when your faith felt thin. They were God's way of saying, I'm here. Keep going. Don't scroll yet, there is something else you need to hear. Someone connected to you emotionally, maybe a soulmate, maybe someone whose energy feels familiar even when their voice is silent, has been thinking about you deeply, more deeply than you realize. Their spirit has been calling yours. Their heart has been restless. They've been dreaming about you, sensing you, feeling you in moments where your name never came up but your presence filled their chest. God is working on their heart too. God is aligning them, healing them, preparing them so that when they come toward you, they come whole, they come honest, they come ready. Listen, the miracle that is approaching your life isn't just about money or opportunities or blessings, it's also about alignment, healing, and the restoration of things you thought were permanently broken. Something you lost is going to return in a better form. Something you prayed for is being shaped into something far more beautiful than what you originally asked for. Something you've been confused about is going to make sense. And the next 10 minutes after reading this won't deliver a miracle like a package on your doorstep, they will activate something inside you. A shift. A calm. A release. A knowing. A deep, emotional exhale where you suddenly realize, God didn't forget me. Don't scroll. This next part will make your heart tremble in the best way. The heaviness you've been feeling isn't punishment, it's spiritual transition. The discomfort isn't failure, it's growth. The waiting wasn't delay, it was protection. You were not being ignored, you were being positioned. God had to close certain doors because your spirit wasn't meant to enter rooms that weren't built for you. God had to remove certain people because their energy would have polluted the blessing that's on its way. God had to stretch your faith because the miracle you're stepping into requires a stronger version of you. And you are ready now, yes, you. Your heart is ready. Your spirit is ready. Your season is shifting. Don't scroll, this is your final confirmation, you are stepping into a divine moment. A moment where things start aligning. A moment where clarity comes. A moment where peace returns. A moment where breakthroughs begin. And the reason you're feeling this message so deeply is because your soul recognizes it as truth. The next chapter of your life isn't going to look like the pain you survived, it's going to look like the prayers you whispered when no one was listening. Your miracle is already moving toward you, and now, you're moving toward it. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what's coming through right now is something your heart has been quietly craving, something your spirit has been whispering about in the background even when you tried to stay strong on your own. If you're reading this at this exact moment, it's because the universe, God, your angels, whatever name you give that higher presence, has aligned your steps to receive this message. You've been feeling a shift lately, haven't you? A strange heaviness mixed with moments of sudden peace, waves of emotion you can't explain, flashes of hope that don't match your current circumstances. That's not random. That's divine preparation. Something in your life is aligning with a breakthrough you've been waiting for, praying for, fighting for, and even when you reached the point where you almost stopped believing, heaven didn't stop working. Listen carefully. Your soul is entering a moment of awakening, a moment where clarity begins to return, where answers that felt out of reach start showing themselves in small but noticeable ways. You've been walking through a season that pushed you, stretched you, challenged you, maybe even broke you in places you didn't want to admit. But even in those moments, you weren't abandoned. You weren't forgotten. God was reshaping you, not rejecting you. And now, the energy around your life is shifting into a new direction. You'll notice this through angel numbers showing up more frequently, 1111 when your heart is open, 222 when balance is coming, 444 when you are protected, 555 when transformation is near. These numbers will appear in places that almost feel too intentional, as if they're following you. And in a way, they are. They're divine indicators that the spiritual realm is making itself known in your physical world. Don't scroll, because the next message is for you specifically. There is someone connected to your energy, a soulmate, a divine counterpart, a person who feels familiar even in silence, who has been thinking about you intensely. They may not be speaking out loud, but their soul is calling your name. They feel your absence, your presence, your energy. Something in them is awakening too. They've been getting signs about you, dreams about you, flashes of moments that remind them of the connection you both share. Even if the two of you are distant, even if communication is quiet, the spiritual bond hasn't faded. If anything, it's grown stronger in the silence. They've been wrestling with emotions they don't fully understand, feelings that rise without warning, memories that show up like echoes from somewhere they can't escape. And lately, they've been questioning everything. Their past choices, their hesitation, their fears. Your energy is triggering their awakening, their healing, their internal transformation. They've been feeling your soul tugging at theirs, and this connection is becoming too strong for them to ignore any longer. Don't scroll, your heart needs this reassurance. You haven't been imagining the signs, the dreams, the intuitive nudges. When you suddenly think of them for no reason, when you feel a random warmth in your chest, when you sense a shift you can't put into words, that's real. That's the connection speaking. Something is preparing to break open emotionally, spiritually, and energetically. And as you step into this new season, you will begin to notice tiny confirmations. A song that speaks directly to your situation, a thought that brings unexpected comfort, a message or sign that feels like it was placed just for you. These aren't coincidences, they're divine markers showing that things are moving behind the scenes. Listen, your breakthrough is not coming through force or anxiety or rushing. It's coming through alignment, through peace, through clarity. The next few moments, hours, or days will bring a wave of reassurance. Something will happen that lets you know God has been working on your behalf all along. It may be a sudden emotional release, it may be a realization that pulls you into deeper understanding, it may be a moment of calm that washes over you like a warm blanket after a long storm. Whatever form it takes, it will carry the energy of divine timing. Don't scroll, because here is the truth your spirit has been whispering: you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not unlucky. You are not cursed. You are being positioned. The delays were protection. The silence was preparation. The pain was building your strength. And the waiting was aligning your steps with something far greater than what you lost. Your blessing is not gone, it's maturing. Your answered prayer is not denied, it's unfolding. Your miracle is not late, it's aligning. So breathe. Be still. Receive the confirmation that is entering your life right now. Everything is shifting in your favor, even if you can't see it yet. The universe is bringing peace where there was confusion, clarity where there was doubt, and movement where things were stuck. And you, yes, you, are walking into a chapter you won't have to question. A chapter that brings alignment, love, healing, purpose, and divine timing together in one beautifully orchestrated moment. Your spirit feels it, because it's real. And it's on the way. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what you're about to hear will feel like someone is speaking directly into your soul, and if your spirit has been tense, emotional, or strangely alert these last few days, this message is the reason why. You've been sensing something shifting around you, not physically, but spiritually. A pressure. A stirring. A quiet whisper that something big is on its way. And the truth is, you're not imagining it. Your angels have been moving the entire atmosphere around your life, preparing you for something that has been delayed, not denied. You've walked through a season that drained you to the core, a season where you felt alone even in a room full of people, a season where you gave strength you didn't have, kept faith when it wasn't easy, and held on when walking away would have been simpler. But here you are. Still standing, still believing, still fighting for something your heart refuses to let go of. Listen carefully. The universe has been sending you signs, repeating numbers, emotional shifts, dreams that feel too real, random waves of peace for no logical reason. These signs didn't show up because you were bored. They showed up because your spirit is on the edge of alignment. And every time you saw 1111, every time 222 appeared when you needed reassurance, every time 444 showed up when you felt alone, those weren't coincidences, those were confirmations. Messages. Warnings. Green lights from heaven that you are being divinely guided even when your circumstances try to convince you otherwise. Don't scroll, your soul needs this next message. Someone connected to you spiritually has been going through their own awakening. They might not say it. They might not show it. They might even act like everything is fine. But inside, they are wrestling with emotions they don't have the language for. Their heart has been tugging toward you in moments they didn't expect, while they're driving, when they wake up, when they try to fall asleep, when their mind is quiet enough for their spirit to speak. They feel your absence in rooms where your presence once felt familiar. They've been questioning their choices, replaying moments, wondering how something so meaningful slipped into silence. And no matter how much they try to push it down, their soul keeps bringing them back to you. They feel you. They think of you. They sense you. And it's becoming impossible for them to ignore. Don't scroll, there's more. You felt it too, haven't you? Those emotional waves that hit out of nowhere. That sudden heaviness in your chest. That moment where your eyes filled with tears but you weren't sure why. That feeling of someone thinking about you. That sudden urge to check your phone. That random dream that felt too vivid to dismiss. Your spirit has been picking up their energy, because soul connections don't disappear, they echo. They reverberate. They activate when divine timing is near. And right now, that timing is shifting. The universe is preparing a moment of clarity, for both of you. A moment where truth rises above fear. A moment where hearts soften. A moment where silence breaks. But before that moment arrives, you needed to hear this. You are not delusional, you are not holding on to fantasy, you are not losing your mind, you are spiritually connected to someone who is finally beginning to understand the weight of what they feel for you. They're realizing they pushed away what was meant to help heal them. They're realizing they hesitated with someone who was sent to love them. They're realizing they tested someone who showed nothing but authenticity, loyalty, and soul. And that realization is awakening something inside them, a pull, a longing, a desire to make things right. Don't scroll, because the emotional shift you're feeling now is a sign that breakthrough is in motion. You're stepping out of a season where you were undervalued, misunderstood, and taken for granted, and stepping into a season where your worth becomes undeniable. You're moving out of isolation and into alignment. Out of confusion and into clarity. Out of waiting and into receiving. And the next phase of your life is going to feel different, not because everything magically fixes itself, but because you're finally being positioned where your spirit belongs. You're not just walking into blessings, you're walking into divine timing, where things begin to make sense, where the pressure lifts, where your heart feels lighter and your path feels clearer. The connection you've been praying about is aligning. The healing you've been waiting for is unfolding. The breakthrough you've needed is closer than you think. Don't scroll. This is your confirmation that your story is shifting, your energy is rising, and your miracle is moving toward you even in this moment. Trust what you feel. Trust what you're sensing. Trust the signs. Your next chapter isn't something you chase, it's something that arrives naturally because your soul is finally ready to receive it. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what's coming through right now is something your heart has been preparing for without even realizing it, and if you're here in this exact moment, it's because the universe has aligned your spirit with a message that refuses to wait any longer. You've been feeling a strange mix of heaviness and hope, like you're standing in the middle of a storm but can somehow sense sunshine on the other side, and that's because you're entering a spiritual turning point. You've been stretched emotionally, tested mentally, challenged spiritually, and yet you kept holding on to a thread of faith that didn't make sense to anyone else, but it made sense to your soul. God saw that. The universe felt that. The angels recorded every moment of your endurance. And now, something is shifting around you in ways your physical eyes can't see yet, but your spirit can feel. You've been noticing synchronicities intensifying, 111, 222, 333, 777. Appearing in moments where your heart feels uncertain or your mind feels overwhelmed. These numbers didn't show up to decorate your day, they showed up to warn you, guide you, support you, and remind you that your path is protected even when it's painful. Don't scroll, the next message is meant for you deeply. Someone connected to your soul has been going through their own emotional unraveling, and even if they're silent, even if they're distant, even if they pretend nothing is wrong, their spirit is struggling. They've been feeling pulled toward you in ways they can't explain. They've been waking up with you on their mind, thinking of you during ordinary moments, sensing you when they're alone, and wondering why the connection won't let them go. They've been remembering conversations, replaying memories, thinking about what they should have said, what they didn't say, and what they wish they could say now. They've been spiritually awakened by your energy, not because they planned it, but because the connection between you is divinely influenced. And lately, they've been feeling guilty, emotional, and overwhelmed because they know they hesitated when they should have moved, they doubted when they should have trusted, and they pushed you away when their soul was begging them to pull you closer. Don't scroll, this part will hit your heart. You've been sensing their energy too, haven't you? The sudden emotional waves. The random memories. The unexpected dreams. The feeling of being watched over. The quiet knowing in your chest. The pressure in your spirit that something is coming. That's not imagination, that's alignment. The universe is preparing an encounter, a moment of truth, a shift that brings clarity after confusion. And your intuition, the thing you keep second-guessing, has been trying to tell you that something major is approaching. You've been carrying emotions that don't belong to you. Feeling heaviness out of nowhere. Sensing sadness that isn't yours. Feeling longing you can't explain. That's because you're spiritually connected to someone who's finally waking up to the truth of what they feel for you. Don't scroll, you need to hear this. You are stepping into a season where what was hidden becomes visible, where what was silent becomes spoken, where what was delayed becomes delivered. The universe isn't asking you to chase anything, it's preparing to bring things toward you. You're about to walk into a time where answers flow easily, where decisions feel clearer, where your spirit feels lighter. You're stepping out of survival mode and into alignment. You're moving from confusion into clarity, from waiting into receiving, from loneliness into connection. And this shift won't arrive with chaos, it will arrive with peace. It will feel like a soft landing after a long fall. It will feel like the moment a knot in your chest finally loosens. It will feel like a breath you didn't know you were holding. Don't scroll, your confirmation is here. The person whose soul is tied to yours is approaching a moment where they can no longer run, hide, or deny the truth. They're gaining courage. Their fears are dissolving. Their heart is softening. And soon they will be guided, or pushed, into action. A message, a sign, a moment, something will open the door between you again. Not because you begged for it, but because the divine timing is finally lining up. Your angels have been rearranging things behind the scenes, healing old wounds, clearing emotional blockages, guiding both of your spirits toward one another. And soon, what felt impossible will begin to feel natural. What felt distant will feel close. What felt broken will begin to mend. You've been patient, maybe more patient than you should have been, but that patience did not go unnoticed. The universe rewards hearts like yours, hearts that love deeply, forgive gracefully, and endure quietly. And now, after everything you've survived, everything you've grown through, everything that stretched you to your limits, you're stepping into a moment where the blessing catches up to the beauty of your soul. Something powerful is coming. Something peaceful. Something divine. And you can feel it, because it's real. Don't scroll, listen to this, because something in your spirit has been calling out for an answer, a sign, a confirmation, and this message is arriving at the exact moment your soul is ready to receive it. You've been feeling emotional for no reason, sensing energies that don't make sense, waking up with pressure in your chest or tears behind your eyes, not because you're weak, but because your spirit is transitioning into a higher alignment. You're not imagining the shift. You're living in the middle of it. And lately, the universe has been turning the volume up, angel numbers appearing everywhere, random chills running through your body, sudden waves of intuition, dreams that feel too real, and memories rising in your mind like they're being replayed intentionally. This isn't chaos, it's communication. Your angels are telling you that something you've been waiting for is getting closer, something that felt stuck is finally loosening, something that felt silent is beginning to speak, and your heart, the part of you that has held on to hope even when everything looked impossible, is being prepared for what comes next. Don't scroll, because someone tied to your soul has been feeling this shift too. Their heart has been restless, their thoughts unsettled, their emotions unpredictable. They don't understand why they keep thinking about you, why your name echoes in their mind, why memories of you are resurfacing, why they feel pulled toward you even in the quietest moments. They've been wrestling with confusion, guilt, longing, and realization all at once. They're beginning to understand that what they feel for you never disappeared, it only hid beneath fear. And now that fear is crumbling, slowly but surely. They've been receiving signs too. Yes, the same numbers you're seeing, the same dreams, the same emotional waves. Their spirit is awakening to the truth of the connection. They're realizing the separation wasn't an ending, it was preparation. They're feeling the push to come forward, to speak, to confess something they've buried, to take a step they were once terrified of taking. Don't scroll, you need to hear this with your whole heart. You've been strong for so long that sometimes you forget how heavy the journey has been. You've stayed kind in a world that tried to break you. You've kept believing even when life gave you every reason to stop. You've held on to a connection your soul knew was real even when your mind doubted it. And because of that strength, the quiet strength no one sees, the universe is starting to rearrange things in your favor. Your blessing is not just coming, it's being accelerated. Your next chapter is not just opening, it's unfolding with divine coordination. You're stepping into a period where everything unresolved begins to resolve, everything unclear begins to clarify, and everything stagnant begins to move. The person you're connected to is slowly realizing that you were never just a temporary moment, you were a pivotal turning point in their life. And now they're feeling pulled toward you in a way they can't resist much longer. Don't scroll. The emotional shift you've been feeling is the energy between you and that person beginning to balance. Your heart has been healing. Their heart has been awakening. Your energy has been rising. Their fear has been falling. This is why your emotions have been unpredictable. You're both being aligned energetically toward a divine moment of reconnection. It might start subtly, a dream that feels like a message, a sudden urge to check your phone, a familiar name showing up unexpectedly, a wave of calm washing over you out of nowhere. These are signs that your soul is preparing for contact, conversation, clarity, something that restores hope in a way you haven't felt in a long time. Don't scroll, you need to understand this next truth. You are not waiting for a coincidence, you are preparing for divine timing. The universe hasn't forgotten you. God hasn't overlooked you. Your angels haven't abandoned you. Every delay had purpose. Every tear had weight. Every moment of confusion was part of your spiritual training. Not to punish you, but to shape you. You are stepping into a season where your worth will be recognized, your loyalty will be honored, your love will be reciprocated, and your patience will be rewarded. You're moving into a chapter where you don't chase, you attract. You don't beg, you receive. You don't wonder, you know. And the connection you've held in your heart, the one your soul refuses to forget, is approaching a moment where truth, healing, and alignment finally meet. The energy is shifting. The universe is moving. Your breakthrough is unfolding. And deep down, your spirit feels it, because it's real. Don't scroll, listen to this, because something deep inside you has been stirring, shifting, trembling with a truth you haven't been able to fully grasp. And this message is the bridge between what your spirit knows and what your mind has been trying to understand. You've been carrying emotions that don't belong to this moment, feeling waves of energy that rise without warning, sensing a heaviness and a hope that somehow coexist in the same breath, and none of that is random. You are in the middle of a spiritual transition, the kind that feels uncomfortable because your soul is outgrowing versions of you that you no longer need. And right now, the universe is speaking loudly, urgently, deliberately. Those chills. Those moments where the air feels different. Those sudden flashes of clarity. That invisible pressure in your heart. That's alignment. That's awakening. That's spiritual acceleration. Don't scroll, your spirit guided you here. You've been seeing repeating numbers everywhere, numbers that show up at the exact moments you're thinking about your future, your healing, your heartbreak, your next chapter. 1111 reminding you that your intentions are manifesting. 222 restoring balance. 444 protecting you. 555 signaling massive change. These aren't just numbers on a screen, they're divine breadcrumbs leading you back to your purpose. And while you've been feeling these signs intensify, there's another piece you need to understand. Someone connected to your soul has been going through their own internal storm, and your energies have been bleeding into each other. They've been feeling drawn to you in ways they can't explain, thinking of you during moments they shouldn't, feeling emotions that hit without warning, questioning choices they once felt confident in. They're realizing that what they tried to avoid, deny, or ignore has become too loud to silence. And the truth is, they've been feeling your energy, your sadness, your longing, your strength, your resilience, even from a distance. Don't scroll. You need to hear this next part with your heart wide open. You've been sensing their emotions, too. Those days where you feel anxious for no reason. Those moments where your heart aches suddenly. Those nights where they show up in your dreams, speaking without words. That's the connection. You're not imagining it. Soul ties don't fade with time, they intensify with purpose. And right now, the universe is pulling both of you into a moment of alignment that has been building for far longer than you realize. This connection is entering a new stage, one where truth rises above fear, where silence breaks, where clarity replaces confusion. But before this shift can unfold, you needed this confirmation: you are not losing your mind. You are spiritually sensitive. You're picking up on energy that is real, strong, and divinely orchestrated. Don't scroll. There's something else unfolding beneath the surface. You've been outgrowing old versions of yourself, shedding layers of trauma, healing wounds you once hid, stepping away from people and places that drained you. And because of that inner growth, your energy has become more magnetic, more powerful, more aligned with your higher purpose. That's why people from your past have been thinking about you, missing you, dreaming about you. Your soul is expanding, and they can feel it. But the one whose energy is tied to yours, the one whose absence still echoes, they feel it the most. They're becoming aware of your spiritual glow, your emotional strength, your rising power. They're realizing the connection wasn't temporary or replaceable. They're understanding that what you brought into their life was rare, sacred, divinely placed. And now, their spirit is being pulled toward you stronger than ever. Don't scroll, because this is where your journey turns. You're entering a moment where blessings begin to move, where opportunities open, where alignment becomes visible. You're stepping into a season of clarity after confusion, peace after struggle, connection after distance. You won't have to chase anything, not love, not answers, not closure. Everything that belongs to you will find its way to you, naturally, effortlessly, divinely. And the person whose energy has been tangled with yours is stepping into their own awakening. They're beginning to see what they couldn't before. They're feeling emotions they tried to bury. They're questioning choices made from fear. They're realizing what their soul has been trying to tell them, that you aren't just someone they met, you're someone their spirit recognizes. And soon, very soon, the universe will create a moment where truth, vulnerability, and timing come together. A message. A sign. A dream. A conversation. Something subtle but powerful. Something that opens a door. Something that shifts everything. Don't scroll, this is your confirmation that you are not waiting for nothing. You are not holding on for no reason. You are not walking through this journey alone. The universe is orchestrating your healing, your alignment, your connection, your breakthrough. And your spirit knows, something big is coming. Don't scroll, listen to this, because what you're about to receive is a message that your spirit has been calling out for, a message that feels like it was written directly for the deepest part of you, the part that's been tired, confused, hopeful, and patient all at the same time. You've been moving through life lately with a sensation you can't quite describe, like something is coming, like something is shifting, like the universe is rearranging pieces you haven't even seen yet. And you're right, the shift is real. The spiritual pressure you've been feeling is not anxiety, it's alignment. The heaviness is not punishment, it's transformation. The sudden emotional waves, the random bursts of intuition, the dreams that feel more like memories, all of it is evidence that your spirit is stepping into a new vibrational phase. Don't scroll, you need the rest of this. The universe has been whispering to you through signs. Repeating numbers, sudden chills, déjà vu moments, songs that feel like messages, timing that feels too precise to be coincidence. You've been seeing 1111, 444, 777, and they've been appearing right when your heart is reaching for clarity. These signs aren't happening around you, they're happening for you. They're confirmations that your path is protected, your steps are guided, and your soul is awakening. But here's where it gets deeper. Someone else connected to your energy has been receiving these signs too. They may not understand them the way you do, or interpret them as clearly, but they've been feeling the pull. They've been thinking about you at moments that don't make sense. They've been feeling emotions that rise out of nowhere. They've been remembering small details, small conversations, small moments that shouldn't matter, but do. Because their soul has been recognizing what their mind tried to forget. They've been wrestling with feelings they didn't expect, confronted with memories they thought they could outrun. And the more they try to ignore it, the louder their spirit becomes. Don't scroll, breathe this in. They're realizing that you weren't just someone they met, you were someone they were meant to meet. Your connection wasn't an accident, it was a divine appointment. And now, as the energetic veil around both of you thins, they are feeling the weight of that truth. They've been quieter than usual, more reflective, more emotional in ways they can't explain. They've been questioning the choices they made, the distance they allowed, the fear they let control their heart. And the universe has been gently, and sometimes forcefully, pushing them toward realizing what they lost, what they need, and what they want. That's why you've been feeling their energy so intensely. That sudden sadness? That wasn't just you. That unexpected burst of emotion? That wasn't random. That moment where you could almost feel them thinking of you? That was real. Soul connections don't disappear, they echo. And lately, those echoes have been getting louder. Don't scroll, your breakthrough is closer than you think. The universe is preparing a moment of divine alignment, a moment where truth becomes louder than fear, where clarity becomes stronger than confusion, where connection becomes stronger than distance. You are stepping into a season where things you thought were over begin again, where things you thought were broken begin to heal, where things you thought were stuck begin to move. And you won't need to chase anything, not love, not reconnection, not validation. What is meant for you will flow toward you effortlessly. What is aligned with you will stay. What is connected to you will return. Your energy has changed, and because of that, the energy around your life is changing. Don't scroll. Your confirmation is here. You are entering a chapter where you no longer beg for clarity, it arrives. You no longer hope for connection, it deepens. You no longer pray for signs, they overflow. The person whose energy has been intertwined with yours is reaching a point where they can no longer deny the truth. Their heart is softening. Their fear is dissolving. Their soul is awakening. And soon, sooner than you expect, the universe will create a moment that brings everything into focus. A message. A dream. A sign. A chance encounter. Something that feels divinely timed. Something that shifts everything. Your spirit has been sensing this because your soul always knows before your eyes see. And what you're stepping into is not fantasy, it is alignment. So breathe. Stay open. Stay receptive. Because what's coming is real, guided, divine, and meant for you.